Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Raw review and opinions video. So I'm struggling with this score. I'm thinking I'm about a 5.25, maybe 5.5. I know that's low, but I'm really struggling to find stuff that I can hold up and say, well, this is what boosted my score. I mean, I do think Roxanne does a lot of heavy lifting. I really enjoyed that. And you lot did as well. You scored it great, 58%. But I'm going to be honest, because if I can't be honest, what's the point? I didn't enjoy the opening promo from CM Punk and certainly the promo exchange with LA Knight. I do agree with WrestleVotes. They said that to them it seemed a bit clunky. To them it seemed like some lines were being forgotten. The flow just wasn't very good. I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy the presentation of it. I didn't think there was any lines that were that memorable. Yeah, I think LA Knight had a line when Bronson Reed came out saying that he looked like a walk-in Foot Locker, which has stuck with me. But I mean, that was it, really. There wasn't anything else. Obviously, Bronson adding another set of shoes to his Shula Fala. Bron Breaker with some Steiner maths. You know, there was little bits. But I mean, we really are having to find crumbs, because the bulk of that segment I thought underwhelmed. Then we go to our first match, Dragon Lee, AJ Styles against Dominik, Mysterio, El Grande. And I'm so bored of singles guys being put into tag team. We have a tag division, right? We didn't get any of them on display. We had 2 tag matches, but we didn't get any actual tag teams on display. Instead, we just chucked singles guys into tag teams like Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. When have we seen that team? Dominik, Mysterio and El Grande. When have we seen that team, right? Even in the main event, we had LA Knight and CM Punk. So chucking singles guys into tag matches just to try and get as many people on the show as possible. Not my thing. So not yours as well. Good 94% for that opening match. Didn't grab me. Then we went on to Rusev Sami, good 91%. I think people were probably down on the outside interference, and there was loads of outside interference on this show. Iyo Roxanne, of course, outside interference with Asuka, Kairi. At least, though, that's interesting. And at least we had a great match before that outside interference. So, yeah, Asuka, Iyo, that definitely moves my score in a positive direction. Iyo, Roxanne, as a match, massively moved my score in a positive direction. I think the crowd as well. I know we didn't get We Want Cross Chants. We've spoke about that in the video on the main channel. That to me was a massive talking point coming out of this show, but I've just watched a video from one of the guys that was holding We Want Cross sign. He was saying he was desperately trying to start chants all night. No one was going for it. No one was interested. No one was making any noise for him. So he was saying when he spoke to people after, he was getting a lot of French speaking people in the crowd. And I wonder if that was a barrier. I mean, I can't imagine that helped. So maybe that was a barrier. Maybe if this was in the US, or even if it was in an English-speaking part of Canada, perhaps we would have had a better response to the whole We Want Cross movement. So, yeah, I said, I think in Unseen, regroup if you are in that We Want Cross movement. Come back on Friday, come back next Monday, make your voices heard. This just goes down as a blip, and I think largely it's because this was a French-speaking part of Canada, right? So, but that guy said he was trying all night to get the crowd going. Becky, Maxine, good 85. You guys weren't blown away. I wasn't blown away either. I do think that Maxine has shown a little more than what we've seen before, so I think that there's definite improvement there. But good 85, you lot said. And then the main event, I'm shocked. You lot said good 87. You was not taken with that tag match. Of course, Seth gets involved, curb stomps CM Punk, and not only that, we get Adam Pearce coming out, and of course the match is made fatal 4-way, which I'm really into, because I did think we were going to get another kind of tag match, probably Roman, Punk, and some other boomer taking on the Vision, and I'm just not looking for that. I'm really not looking for that. We've just done a match very similar to that with Jay and Roman taking on Bron at SummerSlam. Like, I need something different. I need something meaningful. And we got a fatal 4-way made for Clash in Paris. That's meaningful. Title on the line. Fatal 4-way. Could go in any direction. Pretty sure Seth retains, but even so. So yeah, I'm down for that. Big opportunity for Jay, big opportunity for LA Knight. Obviously a chance for CM Punk to get his hands on that belt again, but as I said, I think Punk will leave. I think Seth will leave as champion. I think he will retain. But I still prefer that to the tag match being made. And of course, then it makes you wonder, what is Roman going to do on that show? Is it going to be Roman Bronson? Maybe the Shula Fala is going to be on the line. So interesting. And then, of course, the BAYLEY section. That definitely boosts the score. Don't know quite why she's turning to darkness, madness. Doesn't really feel like anything has warranted that. I mean, she obviously cost Lyra at SummerSlam, but they're not good friends. They don't get on at all. If they'd been really close, if that had been like Sasha turning her back on BAYLEY, maybe then I would understand. Lyra, I wouldn't have expected that to have had any kind of impact whatsoever. So, I don't know. I like it. I'm on board with it. I just wish the reason for it was a bit more meaningful. I'm just, maybe it's just a lot of stuff coming to a head. Perhaps this is just a culmination, but don't know. Feels a little forced at the moment, but we'll see. I like it. I like how it was executed, though. The vignette was excellent. But I didn't have BAYLEY slipping into madness on my bingo card at the start of the year, so let's see how that goes. But still, I'd say that was positive. But I am kind of like scurrying around to find any crumbs I can, really. So as a result, that's why I'm like 5.25, 5.5. I don't think this was a very good Raw, and I think this is another one in a long list of not very good Raws. I think at the moment, undeniably, NXT the best brands, then we've got SmackDown, and then we've got Raw. And honestly, I don't know where I'd put Evolve in that. I think I'd definitely put Evolve above Raw. I might even be tempted to put it above SmackDown. I don't think it's better than NXT. But Evolve on a Wednesday, I think, honestly, is a pretty strong rival for Raw at the moment. So, yeah, there we go. Let's get to your comments. There's like 50 comments. So let's go through and get to your comments. So Jay gives it 6.8. Brendan, shout out to you. 595 from Jay. The Punk promo 6. The first match 5.5, Sami Rusev 5.9, New Day segment 5, that was during commercial break, I believe. Iyo Roxanne 6.9, Penta promo commercial break 6, Maxine Becky 5, Seth Rollins segment 5, and main event 4.9, boring AF, so 5.95. Jay, thank you. Nathan said 6. It was good for what it was. Just ending being extremely predictable each week is annoying. Tyler said this was a 5 at best. There was a lot of lazy storytelling and booking going on, which needs to change. BAYLEY stuff looks nice, but will it lead anywhere? Carrion stuff I didn't mind. It's just a different crowd. Triple H needs to look at that damn whiteboard again. This was a bad show, said Tyler. Robbie gives it a 175. I checked out after an hour, watched the rest via YouTube clips. Seriously, the same ending for 4 consecutive Raws. The vision just isn't it. They are approaching dark state levels of mid. I don't think I enjoyed a single thing on this show. It was very forgettable. Parker said it was pretty good episodes, giving it a 7. Virex said, really liked it, was great wrestling, good storyline progression, Asuka heel turn, same with BAYLEY, fatal 4-way confirmed, Roman Bronson at Clash, so an 8 from Virux. Eric said, every match had someone interfering. Triple H is falling in love with that way too much. I personally couldn't get invested. The only part that had me was the BAYLEY segment. I'm going 3-2-5. Do better, Triple H. Sinister said 6. Last 3 weeks have been really confusing on the booking. Plum Girl, shout out to you, said Daze, Monday the 11th has come and gone. I'm stalling because I couldn't get engaged in this episode. The Dark BAYLEY turn could be interesting, and I'm here for it. Fatal 4-Way will be better than the 6-man tag, so I'm giving it a 5. See you tomorrow for NXT. See you there, buds. See you there. Brandon says it was mids. Carl said Dom, El Grande, Dragon Lee AJ was alright, but it went unnecessarily long, which made it worse. Rox Iyo was fire. 100% Team Iyo versus Asuka. Feel sorry for Kairi. The rest, awful. Nishi said, I personally loved the show. Bayley's vignette was creepy in a good way. Loved Dom and Ludwig's tag match. Roxy and Iyo tore the house down. LA Knight, CM Punk proved they are goats on the mic. The main event was a fun watch. So 7.5 for me, said Nishi. Brady said it was very mediocre. Almost every match ended in DQ. And the main event was the same as every other week. Joppy said 6. Decent episode. But I'm starting to find these endings very boring. Keep up the good work. Joppy, shout out to you, buds. Chris said, nothing to write home about. Giving it a 6. Basically, we got nothing but screwy finishes yet again. Looking forward to seeing what's on with BAYLEY. Maybe going a little crazy. The oddest part of the show was not hearing the We Want cross chants. Can't be just an IWC thing, ? Well, I personally think the IWC is really the driving force behind that, and then it just kind of comes down to how much does that actually bleed into kind of the casual fan psyche. You know, I think there's definitely things like the chants after WrestleMania, but as I've said, I think that's a very IWC based crowd. I mean, you see a lot of, say, content creators going to WrestleMania. A lot of people that go on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you know, they rock up there. And you see a lot of people from like social media going there because you got to be a big fan to spend that kind of money to go to WrestleMania. I'm not sure that that's the kind of place that a casual fan, someone that just watches wrestling once in a while, is going to look to spend a considerable chunk of their money, right? So you could say that the IWC is the driving force behind it. And when it comes to just normal Raw and SmackDown crowds that only have a very small presence of IWC in there, maybe it is going to be tougher. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that there is something in what you lot have said about this being in French-speaking Canada. Maybe when we get over back to America on Friday, next Monday, that we'll actually get better reactions, louder, or some sort of noise about Carrion. So, I don't know. I wouldn't say like it's done, it's over, give up at this stage. But yeah, I mean, look, disappointing, definitely. Elite Pro Wrestling Forum said it was a good opening promo, great action in the tag match. Sami Rusev was good with an understandable finish. Rusev Sheamus needs to be last man standing. Iyo Roxy was great. Io's mad, but clearly needs help. Perfect main event and aftermath. This is how you build heel groups. 625. Do you know, it's amazing because I was reading this and I was like, wow, you really enjoyed it. And you're highlighting all the stuff you like. So I was quite surprised to see the 625 at the end. Respect. I think that's a very fair score. Wrestling XF Art gives it 5.95. Daryl said, I think this was a 6. There was too much interference. Also, the Fatal 4-Way should be great. Would be better if it was a 4-way elimination. Agreed. Wrestling, I think 4-ways should always be elimination, personally. Wrestling fans since day one said the only great thing about this show was the Iyo match. Other than that, it was a bad show. I'm giving it a 5. Daze, will you be live for Triple Mania? And what are your thoughts about WWE having a pay-per-view at the same time as AEW? Good night. See you tomorrow. I'm not live for Triple Mania. I would like to be, but UFC. I've got a massive show this weekend. And I keep getting people asking me, are you doing UFC? Are you doing UFC? So ages ago, I was like, yes, I will do that one. And so I've kind of committed to it. To be honest with you, Triple Mania, it's a AAA show. It's a AAA show. It definitely is getting more WWE main roster talent on it than I was expecting. So if UFC wasn't this weekend, then yes, we would have done it. So, but unfortunately, I'm already committed to UFC. In regards to WWE running a show against AEW, I don't care. I absolutely don't care. This is business, and honestly, WWE have been doing this all the way back in the 80s. You know, NWA would run shows in the 80s, and WWE would put their pay-per-views up against them. And so, this is not new. This is not shocking. This is not surprising. This is something that WWE have been doing going all the way back to the 80s. Probably you could go back before that as well. I mean, I was actually just reading a book about how WWE came to be and how it was created. I know when it started, and I know Capital in the 50s, whatever, but I'm just reading a book that's talking about the 20s and the 30s. And it's talking about how the person that ran the New York territory hated the person that ran the Boston territory. And, you know, these kind of local rivalries and, you know, people screwing each other over. It goes, I mean, it's right there. It goes all the way back into the 1920s. Back then, whoever had the belt had a lot of power. And actually, I just read about how someone basically screwed someone over, like said they wouldn't beat the champ, and they ended up beating the champ and taking the belt to a rival group of people. And that was going down in the 20s. So, I mean, yeah, this is just business, innit? Honestly, I don't really understand the backlash to it. I don't really understand the surprise or the crying about it. Like, don't know. It's happened before. It's going to happen 100,000 times again in the future. I don't get it. I don't understand. I would not have a problem if WWE was running a show and AEW then ran a show the same night. Fair is fair. You know, WWE have done it loads of times. If AEW flipped the tables, I promise you I'd have no issue with it. Subhodeep said, Daze, Raw was okay. It'll be interesting to see Bayley's new personality. Gio the Theo said it was a boring episode. I feel like nothing was achieved beside the Asuka Iyo feud and the Bayley video package. I was more entertained by doing my schoolwork than watching most of this episode, so 5.5. Elite Pro Wrestling said regarding the main story next week in Philly should be Wilds. Roman's in the house. I plan on being there and giving reports to the community. Q Hicks said 7. Nothing really wrong with it. Just a bit overly chaotic and stuff is beyond old. As Raf Belzy said 0 out of 10. There was no cross. Nico said, Daze, sorry I wasn't able to make the stream, but the show was boring. I don't know what it was. Just missed the mark with me. There was a few spots, but overall wasn't a fan. It's coming to my city, Philly, on Monday. It's frustrating. WWE can have great creative for SummerSlam, but then it just goes back to being mid. Real John said, I feel like the Bayley thing in the main event is the only thing you needed to see. Everything else was just lame and boring. You Don't Know Source said this was honestly a 5. A lot of matches that have no meaning, no type of storytelling, just random matches. Better than last week, though. Opulus Travels said, I swear we already did a feedback. The show was mids, but darker side of Bayley. I am excited as to what happens next. Wyatt's maybe, or somewhat brand new. We will see. I don't think it's Wyatt's connected. They're on a different brand. I mean, of course they can get moved in a draft, but I think there is room for Bayley to do something, and we don't know how her darkness would be expressed, you know? So, I don't know. Obviously, we've only heard like a ding-dong kind of laughing in the background. If it's going to be like a split personality thing, you know? I mean, if it's going to be masks and puppets and all of this, then maybe that's a bit too close to the Wyatts, but I don't know. I don't think it's Wyatt's connected at this point, but yeah, let's see. It could be. Alison said 5.9. CM Punk was the best part of the show. Other than that, it was pretty boring. There was no "We Want Cross" chants. There was a sign that said "We Want Cross." See you Friday for SmackDown. P.S. I wonder what's going on with Naomi, said Alison. Don't know. There's been no word. It's just completely out the blue. So don't know. I hope that it's not just like a personal issue that she's having to cover over, or I hope it's not anything super serious. So be good to get an update on that soon. Carrying Cross fan said, I did not like Raw tonight, but still we want Cross. Alfie said it was not great. The only stuff that was good was Iyo Roxanne and the Bayley promo. Other than that, nothing fun. So 5. Nico said, Daze. Breaker said to Punk, you're 47. And then 40. I thought that was a fun open. Raymond said, Daze, I thought Raw tonight was good. Matches were good. And I did enjoy Raw tonight. So I'm giving it a 7.25. Shout out to you and see you for NXT. I think the reason we didn't get the We Want Cross chance is because I'm guessing it is a work. So do you think the crowd just didn't feel as invested in that because they think it's a story, maybe? John Elite said, hopefully, if they truly are gone from WWE, they'll come back one day. But what was that with Bayley? Fatal 4-Way in Paris announced, and Kairi Asuka heel turn soon. Taker 1990 said, I think it was a 5.5. All the matches were ruined by interference. If I had to choose the match that stood out, it would be Iyo Roxy. Maxine did well against Becky. Shout out to you, Daze. Shout out to you, buds. Steve-O said, Daze, first-time commenter, long-time viewer. Tonight's Raw was woeful. Legit a 4. I didn't even watch most of it. And why is Jay being added to the world title picture? That's a good question, actually. How's he done that? Could it be the win at SummerSlam? Maybe. Somehow. Got him added. Don't know. We all know Seth's going to retain. And that Punk Night promo was absolute bleep. Who's behind that? A kid. Yeah, it did feel like it came off the tracks, honestly. I agree. Edward says 6.25. Jesse said 6. Sami Rusev was a sleeper. Iyo Roxanne had good moments. Roland's group won't last. Bron will turn on Seth soon. I like the Kabuki Warriors, but are they going to turn on Iyo? I don't believe Bron is intimidating anyone with his words, but he sure speared the beep out of LA Knight, said Jesse. Jesse, if you can try not to swear, yeah? It's not becoming of a lady. Benjamin said WWE mics the audience, so if they happen to chant We Want Cross, WWE has the ability to mute the audience. I don't think that happened, honestly, because, I mean, I've seen a video where a guy in the crowd trying to start chants basically apologizes and says, I tried. I just couldn't get him to do it. Plus, the other thing as well, if they were doing that, you would definitely have footage all over social media of people posting like their recordings of it. It just didn't happen. It just did not happen. So I don't think it was that, honestly. I can understand the theory. I can understand people thinking that is what they've done, but on this occasion, I don't believe it was. Nikki said, it was a good episode, predictable finish, and about the absence of cross chants, they might have been muted. People in the arena could tell us. I appreciate people are posting this before videos have been released. So I'm kind of speaking from the future. But yes, there was a guy that had one of those We Want Cross signs. He's just done a video saying, basically apologizing, saying, I feel like I've let you all down. I tried all throughout the show to get that chant going and it just didn't work. Well, just could not get it to go. So I don't think it's that. Jose AA said, I felt the fights were long. I reached a point of exhaustion that never ends. The main event of tag team with Bron and Bron is repeated again. What really got me excited, though, was the Bayley story. Will we see a dark or crazy character? It's going to be interesting. Feels like it's going to be, I think, crazy. I think crazy. If she goes dark, it might just stray a bit too close to Wyatt 6. Wrestling God said, I'm going to score it 7.5. WWE Ethan said, I watched the stream for most of the show. Really been annoyed because wrestling in 2025 has been quite beep. I don't know what's wrong. Ethan, please be careful with your language. It's not becoming of a gentleman. So, Ethan, shout out to you, but Blue Will Smith said CM Punk promo C-, opening match D, Sami Rusev D-, New Day promo E+, Lyra, what's that? Iyo Perez, Iyo, D+. In my head, I was like, Leo. I was trying to work it out. I was like, is that Lyra or D+? Penta promo D-, Becky Maxine E-, Seth E+, CM Punk LA Bron Reed F. Overall F. What's wrong with this show? So Blue Will Smith, shout out to you, buds. Matthew said, Raw was very well and good. I like Bayley's role and will be watching Triple Mania. Hope that Dom loses the AAA Championship. Gave Raw an 8. See you tomorrow for NXT and yeet. So Matthew, thank you. Kill AI said parts were 7.5, but parts were 3. Highest I can give it is 666. Maxine had a title match. Good for her. Dom, Americano, Dragon, AJ was entertaining and a fun mid-card match. Jay sauntering out instead of charging made my night. So is this sauntering Jay? There he is. Sauntering Jay making his way out. Raw was 625. Darker Bayley on the way. Could we get Iyo Asuka at Clash? Maybe. Dark Phoenix tease? Maybe. Sanan said Roxanne, Iyo, fantastic ending. AJ match, surprised we didn't get another El Grande. Main event was decent, but tag matches are getting repetitive. Looking forward to the 4-way at Clash. Not a bad way to end my birthday. 7.5. Sanan, happy birthday to you, buds. Trump the Goat said horrible snooze fest. Kiki gives it 5 out of 5. Duquette said Raw is definitely lacking. 6.4. Chanel said 5, but it's interesting that LA Knight, Punk and Jay are now beefing with each other. Yikes. Nice. It was strange to match Rusev and Sami. Was it filler? I'm confused. I think it was a way of getting Sami in a match in Quebec. I think against Rusev, gets him back, you know, hopefully just kind of gives him another match. I mean, they're not doing house shows, so maybe got rid of some cobwebs or helps to get rid of some cobwebs. And then, of course, straight back into the feud with Sheamus. So, filler, yes. I can't believe Bayley is blaming herself now. And Lyra just doesn't care. What's going on? That was weird. Lyra kind of being like, I'm sorry she brought it on herself. It's like, oh my God, you haven't got to be a douche about it. Carla said, to be honest, 0. And Sarah said, I thought it was boring. So there we go. People weren't thrilled. So hopefully NXT is going to be better. Usually NXT is better. To be honest, whenever we do a stream and I kind of struggle to find any entertainment in there, like nothing to bounce off, nothing to have fun with, just flat, really just waiting for something to grab you. And that's how I know that's a bad show. And I did have that in this show. Hence why for me, I don't really have any problems going like into the 5s for this, because I can judge it off the watch along. If we were like having a good laugh and, you know, enjoying different things, and it's like, what the hell's going on now? What's this? Whoa, whoa, whoa. There was nothing like that. It was very flat and just could not find anything to bounce off. So really looking forward to NXT tonight. Hopefully that is going to be a show that can lift our spirits. Lash Legend against Nia should be fun. Plenty of other things going on as well in NXT. So, yes, we'll be back later for that. And hopefully, like usual, that is going to put Raw to shame. So, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support as always. And we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.